March 26th and 20.
Thank you for watching News 12 on your side. Wounded Warrior Project is proud to partner again this year with Parker's Kitchen to help empower your community's post 9/11 veterans, heroes, and their families. Thank you, Parker's Kitchen, for your commitment.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 1226 this morning.
Columbia County leaders want to hear what you think will help the county continue to grow in the right direction. We'll tell you how to make your voice heard coming up.
And a deputy is cleared after a shooting with a suspect. More about that investigation just ahead.
Plus, tornadoes cause damage all over Georgia, South Carolina, some places here at home. We have all that and more coming up in just a few minutes. But first, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Campbell. 6 o'clock on your Tuesday. As you head out the door this morning, let's send it over to Tim with what we can expect. It's going to be a little bit cold out there.
It is going to be cold, possibly Thursday to be that before we get into the weekend. Much more shortly, just about to hit 6:02.
All right, thanks, Tim. Columbia County leaders want to make sure it's growing in a way that's beneficial for everyone who lives there. And to do that, they want to hear from you on what you would like to see in the future. Your Taylor Martin is live near the library on Evans Town Center Boulevard on how you can make sure your voice is heard. Taylor, how can they go about doing that?
Well, Ashley, they'd like to hear from the community on what changes they'd like to see as Columbia County continues to grow. And people can come here to the Columbia County Library tonight from 6 to 7:30 for a meeting to give their input. When you look at recent developments like the progress on the county hospital and the Amazon facility, growth is happening everywhere in Columbia County. It's why the Foundations for the Future comprehensive plan is designed to bring together the voices of residents, business owners, and local organizations to build a strong foundation for the county's future. The plan will focus on key areas including recreation, sustainable growth, local business support, and character preservation. They need your help to put it into action.
I think this is their real chance to have direct impact on what the future of the Columbia County may look like. And so I think that's where, from my perspective, as somebody who deals with the day in and day out, your chance to really influence the future of the county.
Now, again, you have the opportunity to give your feedback and your ideas here tonight. That meeting is going to be at the Columbia County Library from 6 to 7:30.
Yeah, a lot of people always pick that quality of life aspect. So thanks for giving us that information, Taylor, in case you want to head out.
An outside review determines a deputy is justified in shooting a suspect. The news comes from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office and in connection to the incident in front of Glen Hills Middle School last week. At first, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office responded to a domestic dispute last Thursday on Primrose Drive. Investigators say a woman who knew the suspect, Brandon Hill, claimed he stole her gun and left. Later on, they say Deputy David Hopkins spotted Hill walking near Glen Hills Drive, telling him to show his hands. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office told us Hill pulled out a gun in response and pointed it at Hopkins. They say Hopkins shot 5 times. Authorities say Hopkins' body camera was on during that exchange. The footage was sent to the Columbia County Sheriff's Office Regional Force Investigation Team to review. The team presented what they found to District Attorney Jared Williams, and the team says DA Williams agreed that shooting was justified. As of this morning, Hill is still in the hospital in critical condition.
Officers in Warrenville are searching for 2 men in separate aggravated assault cases. Take a look at your screen. We got the first one here, 21-year-old Javen Ward. Officials say that the aggravated assault happened February 8th and February 24th. Officers also looking for this man, 22-year-old Jamari Abrams. Abrams is wanted for aggravated assault, reckless conduct, third-degree cruelty to children, and criminal trespass. Officials say both men are considered to be armed and dangerous, so don't approach them. If you have any information, call the Warrenville Police Department.
Here at home, we learned a few tornadoes touched down in South Carolina and Georgia over the weekend. The National Weather Service says 3 EF0 tornadoes, that's the lowest category, formed. 2 were east of Girard and Burke County. The third was between Snelling and Barnwell. The tornadoes had maximum winds of 80 miles an hour, with the width ranging from 50 to 70 yards. No injuries or deaths were reported from any of those tornadoes.
And we were not the only ones having tornadoes touch down. Other places in Georgia experiencing tornadoes. In Paulding County, an EF1 tornado toppled trees and tore through roofs, reaching wind speeds of 110 miles per hour. Some people are now thankful to be alive after experiencing the dangerous winds and its effects.
It was pretty severe. I'm just glad everybody's okay. This area didn't even get some of the power back until like almost 11 o'clock last night.
It sounded like a train was coming through the yard, and then it was just boom. We were in our pajamas, barefoot, but we were like, all right, let's get out of here.
Now the whole county is pitching in, not only to help themselves, but their neighbors get back on their feet and make sure that they have a roof over their heads.
In Chapin, South Carolina, they also survived an EF1 tornado from that severe weather. While it only lasted 10 minutes and only traveled 6 miles, neighbors say it was a scary experience. Officials say winds reach up to 90 miles an hour, tearing shingles off of roofs, snapping trees, and downing power lines. So far, no injuries were reported, and homeowners say the tornado hit many vacant properties in the area. Later today, you can learn more about the potential floating homestead property tax exemption. The information session will start at 1 o'clock at the Augusta Municipal Building on Telfair Street. If you can't make it in person, it will be available for you on the city's website. Last month, Augusta leaders decided to opt out of the homestead exemption at the state level, but would look into implementing its own floating homestead exemption.
Today, Goodwill is hosting a career fair for you to meet with potential employers. It's going to be running from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Snelling Conference Center on Washington Road. There, you'll be able to meet with companies and organizations like Aruba, Shaw Industries, Columbia County, Augusta University, and more. Goodwill says this job fair is for people trying to re-enter the workforce. They'll even have career coaches to help provide support to job seekers.
North Augusta gave an update to its debris cleanup from Hurricane Helene. City leaders say all stumps have been removed from city-owned roads, but not those owned by the state. Both sets of crews are cleaning from east to west across town. The city did say it's getting a contractor ready to clean up 11 stormwater sites that have debris in them, and limited yard pickup is back. Crews can pick up 4 cases of yard bags or a city-issued cart, but no loose yard debris.
People in Augusta out celebrating St. Patrick's Day last night. The Savannah River Brewing Company had people enjoying themed drinks for the holiday. We spoke with 2 people who came from Ireland on what the holiday means to them here.
A lot of people celebrate because the community comes together and this and that, and they want to drink green beer and stuff like that. But it really is a cultural and a heritage thing where people come together to celebrate, being together as a community.
Both women are also Irish dancers, and McMaster is heading to the World Trial next month to represent the Sarah Costello Irish Dance Academy. So good luck doing that.
Still ahead, South Carolina leaders are trying to solve a problem affecting the education students are not getting. We're going to show you what's being done after the break.
And we're getting a little cold outside as we look at that commute, picking up just a few cars taking that path over 13th Street Bridge into downtown Augusta. We're going to talk about a warming trend that's going to take effect through the middle of the week. That's all coming up next. Stay with us.
And as we head to break, giving you a live look right now at Grovetown at I-20 at 6:09.
It's Truck Month with the Ford Crew.
It's time for the best deals across the full lineup. F-Series, best-selling trucks for 48 years. We've got Maverick and the North American 2025 Truck of the Year, Ford Ranger, fully prepared.
Did you sleep here last night?
If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready.
And this crew is Truck Month ready.
Get up to $11,250 in total savings or 3.9 for 60, plus up to $8,750 in total savings on select F-150s.
If you've been injured, we take immediate action to get you the help you need. The call.
As soon as I called Austin Jackson, I was very assured and at ease.
The response.
They handled everything so that I could focus on getting better.
The work.
They took on the insurance company for me.
The result.
I am very happy with the settlement I received.
That's why you would get the Augusta Guy.
Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta Guy, 706-724-7224.
Hi, Suzanne Lily Honeymichael here with Hardwood Floors and More.
We truly appreciate the opportunities we've had to work in so many homes over the years. And now we want to invite you to our showroom to discover why we are the company that friends recommend. Our quality products, knowledgeable staff, and the tremendous skill set of our technicians is what has made Hardwood Floors and More the most trusted locally owned business for over 30 years. Hardwood Floors and More, so much more in store for you.
If you're looking for rough, tough, and
Live from Augusta, we're watching News 1226 this morning.
An investigation clears a Richmond County deputy who shot a suspect. We have more on that investigation in a few minutes.
And you could have a say in the future of Columbia County. Leaders want to hear from you today on how to keep the county moving forward. We're going to have that information and more coming up in just a few minutes.
But first, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Proto.
And I'm Ashley Campbell, 6:30 on your Tuesday. Sending it over to Tim with what we can expect as we head out the door, Tim.
Well, the smooth. All right, thanks, Tim. You could have a hand in what the future of Columbia County looks like. Leaders want to hear from the community on how they can keep moving forward with the foundations for the future comprehensive plan. Your Taylor Martin is live in Columbia County this morning with more on where people can give their feedback to the county. Taylor?
Well, Nick, people can give their feedback here at the Columbia County Library tonight from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Now, trying to bring together the voices of residents, business owners, and local organizations to build a strong foundation for the county's future. The plan will focus on key areas including recreation, sustainable growth, local business support, and character preservation. They say they're trying to get as much community feedback as possible.
This is an important vision document for everybody, and this is what you look at when you move to a community and say, where are they going? What are their plans? And this kind of lays that out.
Now, again, leaders say they want your feedback, and you can give that here tonight from 6 to 7:30 p.m. here at the Columbia County Library.
All right, thanks for that update there, Taylor, live at the library for us in Columbia County this morning.
An outside review finding that the Richmond County deputy who shot a suspect last week in front of Glen Hills Middle School was justified. Deputy David Hopkins shot Brandon Hill after Hill allegedly pointed a gun at Hopkins. Originally, deputies responded to a domestic dispute on Primrose Drive. There, a woman told deputies that Hill stole her gun and left. After finding Hill on Glen Hill Drive, Hopkins told him to show his hands, and that's when Hopkins says Hill pulled a gun. Hopkins fired his weapon 5 times, hitting Hill at least once in the chest, leading him to be taken to the hospital in critical condition. After that incident, Richmond County Sheriff's Office requested the Columbia County Sheriff's Office for a review. Now, this is standard with any officer-involved shootings. Officials say that Hopkins was wearing a body camera. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office Regional Force Investigation Team presented what they found to District Attorney Jared Williams. They all agreed that Hopkins' actions were justified. And as for Hill, again, he is still in the hospital, listed in critical condition.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is searching for this missing man on your screen, Ronald Jones. The 61-year-old was last seen around 7:30 Saturday morning on Fayetteville Drive in Augusta. Jones is believed to have left that area on foot. If you have any information, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
SLED is asking for your help in a deadly shooting from last year. They're asking for any information about the death of 41-year-old Quentin Banks. They say there is a cash reward for anyone with information that leads to an arrest. Banks was killed in the parking lot of the Edisto Apartments in Denmark, South Carolina last June. They do add that the apartments are known as the White Lane Apartments.
3 people are hurt after an accident with serious injuries on Deansbridge Road. Richmond County deputies say it happened just before 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon on Deansbridge Road when a pickup truck attempted to turn left into a landfill.
They say the truck crashed into an SUV when it turned into the path of the SUV. Both drivers and the passenger in the truck have been taken to the hospital. Aiken County's coroner's office investigating the death of an 85-year-old after an apartment fire earlier this month. Officials say 85-year-old Ronald Parrish died from his injuries. He was first injured in that fire at the Ledges Apartments on Skies Avenue in North Augusta, March 3rd. The Red Cross said its volunteers were assisting 5 families after that fire at the apartment complex broke out. The cause of the fire has not been released.
North Augusta Public Safety will cut the ribbon on its new building soon. The $25 million project was approved back in early 2023, and it's at the intersection of Georgia Avenue and Observatory Avenue. The ceremony begins at 2 o'clock this Friday. There will also be an opportunity to tour the building. We plan to be there, and we'll bring it to you.
A boil water advisory is coming to Warrenville on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. The Valley Public Service Authority says from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., water service will be interrupted for repairs and maintenance to be completed. They say once the water is restored, you do need to boil it for about a minute before you cook with it. That advisory is going to be in effect for 24 hours once the water is restored. And later today, you can learn more about the potential floating homestead property tax exemption. The information session will start at 1 p.m. at the Augusta-Richmond County Municipal Building on Telfair Street. If you can't make it in person, it is going to be available for you to look at on the city's website. Last month, Augusta leaders decided to opt out of the homestead exemption, but would look into implementing its own floating exemption. And if you have a business or home damaged by Hurricane Helene, there's going to be a disaster recovery center open later on this morning. There you can learn about small business disaster loans, check the status of your application, and learn how places like the Salvation Army can help. This is going to be at the Augusta-Richmond County Library on Telfair Street from 11 to 6.
Still ahead, spring is almost here, and you may want to get your bird feeder ready, but there are a few things to take care of first. We'll show you what you need to do coming up.
All right, pollen counts high. We have chilly temperatures right now that you need to dress warm for, but the afternoon highs are looking to get a nice boost into warmer than average temps. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
As we head to break, giving you a live look right now at Calhoun Expressway at 637.
Experience luxury for less in the heart of Evans at Gerald Jones Lincoln. Spring is here and savings are blooming. For a limited time, drive a new Corsair Grand Touring and save over $12,000. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months. Or go bigger in a new Lincoln Navigator and save over $14,000. And get 0% financing for 60 months. Find these deals and so much more at Gerald Jones Lincoln in Evans and GeraldJonesLincoln.com.
As the weather warms up, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources is reminding you now is the time to clean your bird feeder.
That's right. Dirty bird feeders are the common denominator for the spread of diseases among birds. Your Abigasaurus explains.
Here at Wellness Rehab, they work to help sick birds. Lately, they've been getting a lot of calls. Over the winter time, you might have neglected your bird feeder. It can act as a breeding ground for some pretty nasty diseases. Ashley McKenzie can pick out the bird from its call.
The Carolina wren, they're really cute too. They say the tea kettle, tea kettle, tea kettle. That's their call.
She says when it comes to cleaning her bird feeder, she could be better about staying on schedule.
I definitely don't do every 2 weeks because I just don't remember. So like once a month or so, especially during the summer.
But spring is mating season. Birds are looking to socialize and eat more. Bird feeders, often wet, can act as breeding grounds for diseases. Everything from conjunctivitis to salmonella, even bird flu.
The songbirds aren't getting it a ton, and that they haven't told people to take their feeders down, which I'm really glad about because I didn't want to have to take my feeders down. And I also heard that it's raptors and poultry are more susceptible.
An outbreak of bird flu detected in a commercial poultry flock in Elbert County at the start of the year. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources says there is currently low risk of a bird flu outbreak among songbirds, but no official recommendation to take down feeders, unless you also keep domestic poultry.
Bird flu, is not going to generally be at these bird feeders, and just to keep them clean, and then you should be safe.
Nancy Island at Wild Nest Rescue says they're getting calls daily about birds contracting conjunctivitis, and it just shows how quickly any disease can spread.
If they have find sick birds, they can bring them in. to us or call us about it, and we'll try to guide them through that.
Georgia DNR says the best solution to use to make sure that your bird feeder is clean is 1 part bleach and 9 parts water. Give it a rinse afterwards. Make sure to use a mask and gloves, and you should be doing so about once a week. In Decatur, I'm Abby Kasouris.
The city of Savannah has deep-rooted history with Ireland, as many immigrated to the city